저는 푸포 에리카라고 브라질에서 태어나서 이탈리아에서 자랐는데 여러 나라에서 살게 됐고 2011년에 석사 공부를 하기 위해 한국으로 이사하게 됐어요. 한국에서 살면서 뭐 당연히 조금 한국어를 조금 공부도 했고 공부뿐만 아니라 스포츠 산업에서도 일을 하게 됐어요. 2018년 평창 올림픽 자국 다 끝난 후에 다시 유럽으로 이사하게 됐고 지금은 FIFPRO라는 국제 프로축구선수협회에서 일을 하고 있습니다. So I work at FIFPRO in the Global Policy and Strategic Relations team, which means that we work mainly on the implementation, delivery and development of policies that are ultimately really aimed at supporting, protecting players at international level, ensuring that their voice is represented in the decisions that affect their working environment and their professional life. Yes, I had a chance to attend a player visit with the KPFA just last week while I'm here in Seoul in Korea. It was a really good experience, very valuable for me personally, but also, of course, professionally to take that experience back with me to FIFPRO in Amsterdam and share that with my colleagues. It was really good because, first of all, it was my first player visit and my first player visit in Asia, in Korea. And I think it's really important for us from FIFPRO to have those touch points with our player unions and also with the players that we represent at international level. So to be present there and seeing how our player unions interact, speak toward the players that they represent was very valuable. And also to understand how the players interact as well, if they have any particular question or issue they want to bring up. I think it's very valuable for us from FIFPRO to be present also at the national level to bring that cultural context and the cultural perspective back to the office as well. I think anywhere you go, you will find a different cultural context, even within a continent. There is a lot of diversity. And then I also think, I'm not sure because I haven't been to any other player visit, but I would think that each club also has its own culture, its own way of relating and speak to the union, speak among themselves, the players. What I found valuable here is to maybe understand, since this was the first player visit with this particular club, it was very interesting for me to see that KPFA decided to approach from a very sort of friendly perspective, trying to just first introduce themselves, the work that they do, introduce FIFPRO, the work that we do, trying to explain to the players how we can support them, both at the national and international level as trade unions. And doing so with an approach that would be not intimidating to the players and would allow them to take what they have heard from their experience and then be able to reach out to the unions also at a later stage after they had time to reflect. So I think it was very valuable, for example, not to only ask the players, okay, so do you have any questions? Since it's usually, it can be intimidating to ask a question in the midst of a group. But the union actually shared a link to do a survey online, which I think sometimes it's a better way to allow the players to sort of share really their thoughts without having the fear of feeling embarrassed or ashamed or just shy. I think that was very valuable. Sure. So the FIFA Masters is a master's degree for people that want to work in the sports industry, not just in football industry, but sports in general. It's a one-year program, starts in September and ends around the end of July each year. And it's a very valuable master, it's a very valuable experience. It takes place in 3 different countries with 3 different modules. So you study 3 main, let's say, areas of focus in each country. Starts in England with the humanities modules, where you basically study the history of sports, the Olympic Games, the history of cricket, the history of really all sorts of sports, and the role that sports played in society and culture in the development also of our societies. Then the second module takes place in Milan at the Bocconi University, and it's focused on management. So it looks more on the business side of sport, and leadership, and the management skills that are needed and helpful when you work in the sports industry. And then it ends with the last module in Switzerland, in Neuchâtel, where you study sports law. Very challenging if you're not a lawyer, if you don't have that sort of background, but also incredibly important. I find that in my work at FIFPRO, in Puppo, that experience has been really helpful, especially because usually every class is made of people from very different nationalities and cultures. So beyond learning from the academic perspective, from your books, from the professors, I think it's also a valuable experience to learn from the classroom, from the classmates that you have around. My class, for example, we were 27, I think, students from 21 different countries. 21 overall nationalities. And I think it's in the world that we live today, it's incredibly valuable as an asset to be able to work with people from different cultures, different nationalities, who have different personalities and different approaches to work, and also learn about the sports in their country as well. So maybe what I just mentioned, being able to understand how people from different cultures, different nationalities, but also with a different approach, personality, how they work, and being able to collaborate and work together, build relationships regardless of our differences, and actually sort of leveraging these differences to develop ourselves, to evolve, and really just learn how to be together even though we might be different. And the second, I think, aspect that has been incredibly helpful to me, and it's helpful every single day, is the big network that the FIFA Master opens. I'm here in Korea, and just in my class there were other 3 Koreans. 2 of them are here, but from past editions there are many other people that are now in Seoul. Sometimes we manage to organize meetups around the world, and I think since the FIFA Masters, every day in my both private and professional life, I've been in touch with someone either from my own classroom or from the wider FIFA Master alumni network. And I've now come across FIFA Master alumni in my work at FIFPRO, and also traveling. There's always someone you can reach out to if you have a question, or if you just want to meet up and talk about sports and our work. The most recent one involved both men and women football. It's about protection for players internationally from social media abuse. We've seen a huge growth of hate speech and abuse, discriminatory comments that often reach the limit of actual crimes online on the personal and professional accounts of football players around the world, really across countries and cultures. And we are taking this very seriously. We've done a partnership with the NBPA, the NBA Basketball Player Association in the United States, and the WNBPA, the Women's NBA Player Association, to sort of look at the level of abuse that the players from our 2 different sports receive, the types of abuse, to sort of highlight that this is an issue, and it's an issue that is becoming more and more part of the professional life of an athlete, because they are always present. They always have a presence on social media. And I also see here in Korea, it's an issue that I believe it's important also at the national level. We see that different athletes from different sports in Korea have been subject to abuse online and hate speech online. Just not athletes, also like celebrities. And we've seen that that can be very, very not only problematic but also very hurtful and dangerous to the lives of athletes and human beings in general. So that is the most recent project that we've been working on, and we've recently signed a partnership with FIFA to work on player protections together. Oh, well, first of all, thank you. Thank you for opening the door of your office to me and for inviting me to the player visits. It's been incredibly enriching. And yeah, I'll make sure that I will take this experience back with me to FIFPRO. Please, at FIFPRO, we always welcome your feedback on how we can better support you, how we can better serve your work at a national level. Because our job at FIFPRO is to really unite the voice of the players and the player unions. So it's really important for us to fully understand how we can better support you. So yeah, my last message would be, please don't be shy in reaching out to us and tell us what we can do better to help your work.